In modern war, the
Get to
side
cover
that
now.
sees first lives longer. The voice hangs for a moment, cold and
Help us,
matter of
somebody
fact,
help us.
like a law of physics spoken aloud. And as those words fade, the battlefield awakens. Before the first hint of sunrise touches the horizon, the field is already alive with quiet tension. No artillery, no tanks, just the soft electrical hum of machines preparing for a mission that cannot fail. Spread across the frost-coated Ukrainian soil, 12 FPV drones sit in two perfect rows, carbon frames glistening, batteries warmed to 18 degrees, to prevent voltage dip when the motors hit full throttle. Above them, orbiting at 1 and 200 meters, a fixed-wing reconnaissance drone builds a living thermal map with 0.7 sensitivity. The fog hides everything from human eyes, but the machines aren't bound by sight. They read heat, movement, contrast. This is the new front line. Algorithmic, silent, lethal. What happens next will show exactly how drone warfare is rewriting battlefield strategy. A mission prompt flashes across the operators. HUD, neutralize Tor M2, open a corridor. On the thermal feed, the Tor M2 stands out like a lit furnace. Its engine block blazing at 65 key while the frozen soil sits at 3T, barely visible ridges, only 2.3 meters high, scatter the environment. Too small to matter to infantry, but absolutely critical to radar. These dips form low-elevation blind zones, including a lobe depression that leaves the Tor unable to see anything under 30 meters within 1.1 kilometers. The operator nods. We go under the skirt. The pathfinding software confirms the plan, tracing a serpentine route that snakes beneath the radar's perception. And with the plan locked in, all that's left is timing. A mission prompt flashes across the operators. HUD, neutralize Tor M2, open a corridor. On the thermal feed, the Tor M2 stands out like a lit furnace. Its engine block blazing at 65 key while the frozen soil sits at 3T, barely visible ridges, only 2.3 meters high, scatter the environment. Too small to matter to infantry, but absolutely critical to radar. These dips form low-elevation blind zones, including a lobe depression that leaves the Tor unable to see anything under 30 meters within 1.1 kilometers. The operator nods. We go under the skirt. The pathfinding software confirms the plan, tracing a serpentine route that snakes beneath the radar's perception. And with the plan locked in, all that's left is timing. Inside the Tor vehicle, a different world exists. Stale coffee, steel bulkheads, and the low drone of electronics warming to life. Their radar spins at 20 RPM, tuned for aircraft and missiles flying over 150 kilometers in range. The FPVs outside? Too slow to be missiles, too coordinated to be clutter, too low to rise above ground noise. And last night's rainfall has soaked the soil, increasing RF absorption by 6 to 10%, further shrinking the Tor's effective range. Physics takes no sides, but today it leans toward the defenders. Alpha Swarm. Launch. Camera. 12 drones blast upward in a violent surge, rotor speed hitting 14,000 RPM. Operators drop into FPV view, 1 day 18 to 23 May. Latency meaning every maneuver must feel instinctive, almost intuitive. The drones immediately drop to 15 to 25 meters, hugging the earth, weaving through naked tree lines, riding microterrain like water flowing downhill. Their IMUs spike to 4G as they slingshot around obstacles with precision no human pilot could manually produce. Retention hook. And this is where the Tor crew begins to understand, too late, that something is coming for them. At 8 kilometers, the Tor finally detects something. Faint, inconsistent pulses. The fire control computer hesitates for 0.8 seconds, struggling to classify the signals. Then instinct overrides logic. Targets, engage! A missile erupts at Mach 2.5, climbing to 600 meters, before pitching down toward a predicted intercept point. But the prediction is wrong. FPV near 3 jinks sideways at 5G, slipping behind a single tree trunk, enough to break radar coherence. Fuse logic fails. The missile self-destructs harmlessly. 3 drones are lost. One clips a branch at 95 kmh, another vibrates past 40 Hz and self-detonates after its anti-handling. Fuse experiences 25G. But the swarm doesn't lose momentum. Their onboard vision algorithms analyze the Tor's missile exhaust plumes, triangulating the launch point with 0.03 second timestamp variance. Losses are expected. Adaptation is required. The swarm adjusts. The drones split. 4 climb to 80 meters, sacrificing stealth to draw the Tor's fire. 5 drop even lower, threading through skeletal winter trees at 100 kilometers h, disappearing into the Tor's radar side lobes. The quiet angles where the system is nearly blind. To the tour crew, the display becomes chaos. To the drones, it's choreography, a quiet, coordinated assault powered by engineering, instinct, and the invisible rules of physics. And with every passing second, they close in.
The tour crew is fully awake now, no more sleepy blinking, no more casual glances at the radar. Their screens are filling with movement that doesn't behave like anything they've trained for. Angular velocities spike, then vanish. Comma return signals flare, then drop into silence. To them, the display looks broken. To the swarm operators, it looks perfect. The fur-high drones continue to climb, brazenly exposing themselves above the tree line. Their job is simple: die loudly by time. Every meter they rise increases. The tour's confidence that these are the real threats, and confidence often kills. Missile. Someone shouts inside the tour. A second launch erupts, bright, violent, deafening in the narrow metal cabin. The missile arcs upward, chasing the highest drone like a hunting falcon. The operator controlling that drone sees the launch not through radar, but through the recon drone's thermal overlay. Pulling up. He pushes the drone straight into the sky, burning through precious battery to draw the missile farther, higher, away from the others. The missile closes the distance in seconds. There is no escape. The drone explodes in a bright flash. A distraction completed. Retention cue. What happens next is where the real strike begins. With the tour now fully locked onto the bait group, the 5 low drones accelerate. Their altitude, 17 meters. Their speed, 105 kilometers per hour. Their distance to target, closing fast. The terrain shifts from open field to splintered woodland, broken branches, jagged trunks, debris from months of shelling. Flying through this environment is like threading a needle while riding a speeding motorcycle, but the drones carve through it without hesitation. Their stabilizers fight crosswinds. Their autopilots make micro-corrections every 11 milliseconds to prevent collisions. Behind them, the tour launches a third missile, another shot at the bait. The crew doesn't realize the real attack is already less than a minute away. The low drones burst out of the trees, entering a narrow valley leading directly toward the tour's position. The recon feed zooms in, highlighting the tour's hull, its radar unit, its missile rack, and the heat shimmering around its engine block. Final run, the Ukrainian operator says softly. Inside the tour, tension hits its peak. The last bait drone is destroyed, leaving the radar momentarily clear, and in that moment of clarity, 5 signatures appear all at once, much closer than logic says they should be. Panic ripples through the cabin. The tour's radar tries to prioritize targets, but too many files flood its buffer. Track numbers overwrite themselves. The crew watches helplessly as the system begins dropping earlier tracks to process new ones. They're fighting software, not drones. The first low drone breaks the ridge at 600 meters. The tour's critical reaction bubble. The operator pushes throttle to maximum. The drone surges forward, camera fixed on the vehicle's radar array. Wind buffets the frame. The drone vibrates violently as it enters the slipstream of its own speed. Inside the tour, someone screams, "Fire! Fire now!" But the tour can't. Its minimum engagement range is longer than this. Physics has already decided the outcome. The drone slams into the radar dish at 105 kilometers per hour. The impact is brutal, metal twisting, sparks jetting, electronics snapping apart. The radar display inside the cabin goes black. The tour is now blind. And in the seconds after that impact, everything changes.